Hi, my name is Cyril Gibraltar, an aspiring videographer and photographer based in Tokyo, Japan, and today we are going to talk about the 16 to 55mm f2.8 and why I believe that this lens is an ideal lens for hybrid shooters. And make sure you watch until the end of the video because I will also show you some images and videos of Kyoto during the cherry blossom season, right? So don't miss out on that. Last weekend I took the XF 16 to 55mm f2.8 to a trip to Kyoto that I did with my girlfriend for her birthday, and I basically only used this lens just in case I brought the 10 to 24 and the 55 to 200, but this lens was stuck the whole weekend to my Fujifilm X-T4. And I realized that this is just a great lens for both video and photography. And it allowed me to switch really quick from video mode to photography mode without any problem. So today I want to discuss about the advantages of this particular lens and why you should choose, in my opinion, that's only again my opinion, this lens over other options such as the 18 to 55 or the 16 to 80mm f4. So first let's talk about the characteristics of this particular lens, the 16 to 55 f2.8. It's relatively a bulky lens, right? It's about 655 grams with a filter size of 77mm and a size of about 106 times 83.3 millimeters, right? So it's not a small tiny lens. In fact, if you compare it to the 18 to 55, it's almost twice as big in terms of weight. So some would think that such a lens is a bit too bulky to be used for both video and photography if you have other options. However, for the image quality that it gives you, meaning you have great contrast, great color reproduction, and also it's a super sharp lens, right? So in this particular body, 600 grams, and you look at it in my hands, I have big hands maybe, but it's not a huge lens, right? Look at this. Not huge by any means. You have a lens that's great for both video and photography in one package, and that you can use pretty much in any situation. In terms of build quality, you have, well, it's a Fujifilm lens first. So like most of the Fujifilm lens, you have a great build quality in there. You also have like a red badge Fujifilm lens. So this is meant for actual pro photography usage, right? So you have weather resistance. You also have, I don't know if you can hear it, but a beautiful clicking sound of the aperture ring. The zoom ring seems really smooth and you can really feel the zoom. And the manual focus ring is also great. In fact, I compared, I rented out the 18 to 55 and I tried to compare how this manual ring was feeling. And when I tried the 18 to 55, I felt like it was a bit too, how to say, too loose to my taste, and that it was also harder to control the manual focus to have the result that I wanted, right? I felt way better when I used the 16 to 55. I know that weather resistant doesn't mean completely hermetic, right? Completely waterproof or dust resistant. But for me, I think it's a really important aspect because I like shooting in random conditions and I don't necessarily want to bring an umbrella and shoot while holding the umbrella over my head. So having the weather resistance is really a plus compared to to the 18 to 55. In terms of image quality, well, this lens is just beautiful. It does, I mean, you can do landscape, you can do portrait, you can do, I mean, pretty much you can shoot a lot of type of photography with this lens and many videos, right? The image is sharp, the colors are on point. You also have great contrast with this lens. So there is no actual problem with the image quality. When I compared it to the 18 to 55 and to the 16 to 80, well, I would say that the 18 to 55, I actually liked also the image quality that it was giving me. But the 16 to 80, maybe it was the copy of the lens that I used to own, but I felt that the images that I would get from this lens were super soft, especially at f4. I would go and shoot in the middle of the day, and I would still have like soft images at the center that I did not really like. That's why I decided to sell this lens and to try to find a replacement for videos. One big argument that I hear in reviews and also in my discussions with other photographers is that the 18 to 55 compared to, and the 16 to 80 both have OIS. So I think that's a valid point, right? If you have a body that is not, I mean, doesn't include the IBIS, you might want to actually consider having a lens like the 16 to 80 or the 18 to 55 that has this OIS included in the lens. However, I own the X-T4, right? And when I tried to compare the 18 to 55, also some videos that I took with the 16 to 80 to this one, the 16 to 55, I found that basically with the IBIS of the X-T4 that I'm using right now to film myself, I can't see an actual huge difference between the 16 to 55, the 18 to 55 and the 16 to 80. Where I see the difference is in image quality, in sharpness, and in actual render of colors. That is why one of the reasons why, right, I chose the 16 to 55. Now also when you're an hybrid shooter, meaning switching from photography to video, you need that flexibility, right? And you need that low light capability. You don't really know when you will have to shoot. And when you're, doing some shooting in low light, f4 cannot cut it. If you need to zoom, it will be really difficult for you to actually be able to both take photographies and videography during the night at f4. So this f2.8 that this lens provides really helps you actually having that flexibility that you would be looking for, right, in a lens for both photography and videography. When it comes to price, the 16 to 55 is about $1,100. The 16 to 80 is about $900, and the 18 to 55 is around $800, right? With the 16 to 55, what $200 or $300 more will give you compared to the 18 to 55 and the 16 to 80 is basically low light capabilities, weather resistance compared to the 18 to 55, and also I would say, in my opinion, a better image quality. If those factors are important to you, meaning if you need the flexibility of the low light, and if you also have a body with the stabilization, so the OIS is not such an important factor for your needs, I would say go for the 16 to 55 because it's a great lens. It has great sharpness, great contrast, great colors. I mean, the image quality is honestly really good. I was impressed by it because I own the 66mm f1.2, and while of course the bokeh is not as much, the image quality is, yeah, I would say superior. I need to make more comparison. Don't you know, don't destroy me in the comments. I would say, yeah, that this is basically a great lens and that it deserves its name of bag of primes, right? So yes, so if you can afford it and if OIS is not a big concern, but you want the flexibility of low light and great autofocus, honestly, no problem in autofocus there. Yeah, go for the 16 to 55. However, if OIS is a must for you, check out the 16 to 80, I would say, because the 16 to 80 has the latest Fujifilm autofocus mechanism, and it will give you more flexibility. So that's about it for the 16 to 55. And before I leave you today, I want to show you some pictures and some footage that I took this weekend in Kyoto with the 16 to 55. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like the video. And I'll see you in the next video for a longer video about Kyoto and the beautiful cherry blossoms there. So see you guys in the next video and enjoy the beautiful pictures of Kyoto.